Hi guys, it's October here on Lures. I am again going to try and speak loudly and clearly. My son has been up. He was up all night on Friday night, and then he was up all day through the day Saturday, and he only fell asleep at 6:45 this morning on Sunday. So I'm downstairs, he's in his room, so I'm trying to speak clearly and loudly enough for you to hear, but I don't want to wake him up either, so please bear with me. Okay, this week's topic is preparation for divination. So this varies from day to day, from week to week, from situation to situation. Generally speaking, if I do divination with regards to cards, now I don't really use tarot cards. I tend to use oracle cards, and have done since the very first time I used cards. So I have several decks that I use all the time. I'll pop pictures in here of those. The first picture is my Dark Goddess deck. Which is my most recent purchase, and my other deck, which is Walking in Winter, the kayak deck that was made for me by a lovely lady called Fran. Who had made bespoke cards for me. I had requested to have kayak cards first and foremost, and then I was going to get Morrigan ones made thereafter, but she took a little break from making cards and I didn't have the money to go ahead and get the Morrigan ones done. So I'm glad I got the kayak ones done, because I don't have a lot of things connected in with the kayak, because I've only been working with the kayak for about a year and a half or something. So those two decks are primarily what I use the most. I have got some Froud cards, 2 sets of, which I used to use more, but not as much as I used to. So the regards, if I'm doing readings, particularly for myself, all I do is make sure that the area is cleansed, and I have a divination candle that I use, which I'll put a picture of or a small video clip in here. Hi guys, I thought I would do a different kind of video. I've been working with the Dark Goddess Oracle deck this morning, and basically that is really the only tools I use. Now here, where you see this taillight here, I normally have a moth candle holder, which is this. You've probably seen it in other videos. And I usually have black protection candles for general protection as well as protection during spellworking. However, I am completely out of those at the moment, and what I have been using, which is not burning at the moment, are these, which are not dinner candles, I keep saying dinner candles, birthday candles. I had a packet, oh no, hang on till I tell you, of 100, and what I do is, if I am doing spell working of a daily for something, those burn down really quickly, so I'll do a couple of those in a day. Maybe one in the morning, one in the evening. Also they're good because they're white for purification, so when I don't have the black, I can use the white for purification. So as far as divination for myself goes, that's pretty much it. I try and make sure I've had a cleansing shower first, but that doesn't always happen. And when if I'm doing it off the cuff quickly, what I'll do is I'll light an incense, a protective incense and a cleansing incense, and I'll just kind of smudge myself with it. I also have a particular oil, so I'll put oil on my hands and rub the oil on my hands. But that is about as far as it goes with regards to divination when I'm doing divination for myself, preparation wise. If I'm doing something where I am using my scrying board, which is underneath here, I'll try and put a picture in of what it looks like when it's not got all this stuff on it, because normally the right hand side from here over is cleared off if I'm doing divination work through scrying. But at the moment I've got other things going on, so I have not got that cleared off. But I'll put a picture in, try and put a picture in for you of what that looks like when there's nothing on it. On that side of it, or a picture of it just in general, what it looks like as a whole. Regards divination, today I am going to be doing a couple of extra little things, because if you've heard me talking in other videos about my granny that passed when I was 8, well, it's her birthday today. I can't remember how old she was when she passed. She was in her 50s, so I'm not quite sure what age that would have made her now. A pretty decent age. But we were very close, so I'm going to be spending a little bit of time on and around my ancestor altar, because we were very close, and I always try and do little extra bits for her when it is things like her birthday. So I've got more things going on my ancestor altar, which I might show you another time, but I'm not showing you that just now because I've got some stuff going on there that's kind of private, so I hope you don't mind. Other things I use are a pendulum, my black tourmaline pendulum. Now, my black tourmaline pendulum is used for communication work with certain things, and I don't use pendulum work as much as I used to. I still do, but I am very particular about when I use my pendulum. I tend to use scrying. I tend to use scrying in various forms. Some more known than others, some maybe not so popular or so as much used in the community, which is I do scrying with my board, my glass board, and I also do cloud scrying and black ice scrying. And in those situations, I'm out in nature, and in those situations, like I said, I've mentioned many times before, I let the wind carry any negativity away from me, and I don't really cast circles when I'm out and about. I wear my protective jewellery. I have protective incense and candles and everything with me if I'm outside doing particular things. So the wind cleanses and takes away anything that I don't want to be hanging around energetically wise. So I would say that the main things I do are just general cleansing, whether that be my altar, myself, that type of a thing. Trying to think what else I do. I also do scrying sometimes. In one of my other videos, you may have seen a glass bowl that has candles in, you know, all the way around it. I sometimes use that for scrying as well, and other divinational purposes. Divination for me is more highly connected in with my family, my ancestors, but also use divination, particularly scrying, for very specific reasons. My ancestor altar has got more divinational items on it now. It never used to. It used to be very, very basic. Well, it's still quite basic, but it's got a few more things on it now. Plus, my ancestor altar is actually placed on a unit that my gran called her whatnot, because she put her whatnots on it. That means ornaments and trinkets and things on it. And it was in her living room. I specifically remember it being sat slightly behind the chair she used to sit in. Now, my gran used to smoke, and she had one of those tall, freestanding ashtrays right beside her chair, and the whatnot was kind of in between that and side to the back of her chair, and it had her bits and pieces on it. So for me, that's a tool in itself, because it is an item that was physically connected to her in life. And I remember her cleaning it. I remember her tinkering about and putting things on it and taking things off it. I remember it visually being in her house. I remember exactly where it was located. And for me, anyway, I feel that the more personal an item is to an individual, then the better for divinational purposes, but also generally for ancestor altar setups. Now everybody does their own thing that way, but I just felt it was the right thing to do because it was so personal to her. And I don't have a lot of items of hers, specifically items that was in her house. So I have her whatnot, little unit that my ancestor altar's on, and I have her wedding band, and I have a scarf of hers, and I also make sure that I've got carnations of some description on my ancestor altar, and that varies from actual flowers to carnation oil, because carnations were her favourite flower, carnation oil to carnation, it's just like this resin, and it kind of melts when you burn it. So I've got carnation and I've got honeysuckle. And I got honeysuckle more connected in with something to do with the Morrigan, but I got the carnation because it's highly connected in with my gran. And so I make sure that there's something with carnation in it or within it at all times. And what I do is, if I get actual flowers, once they're like kind of done, I will dry them out and I will use them in incense blends. I will use them to scatter about the altar. I will use them in various different things in connection with her, sometimes in loose incense blends as well. And sometimes if I go to places where I know she would have liked, I have a little bag, they're little bags that, you know, if you buy something off of eBay or whatever, you get these tiny little jewellery size bags. Well, I got a bunch of those, and I take a little bag of dried carnations or a carnation blend that I've made, pop it in my handbag or in my purse, and if I'm out and about and I know I'm going to be somewhere she'd like, somewhere that she's been before and has mentioned that she has liked, something that a family member has said about that place that I feel would be connected to her, then I will scatter carnation flowers there, almost like she's with me and I'm sharing the experience with her. So with regards to preparation, not so much preparation, although I guess you could say that's preparation, because if I'm going out and about somewhere and I'm going to be somewhere I feel that she likes or would have liked to experience with me, then I will take the carnation flowers dried out with me, and I will scatter some of them around where I am. I'm trying to see if I can show you something. Yeah, basically I also have, see if I can show you. Don't think I can. No, well, basically, I have a, it's a glass candle holder. It had a soy, sandalwood, and amber, I think it was, soy wax candle. After that burned down, because it's soy wax and soy wax is water soluble, I actually cleaned out that very thoroughly, and I keep bits of paper in it that I use for pendulum work and for other divinational purposes, and they are in that skull candle. I'll try and put a picture in. I think that's about all that I can share with you, because like I say, it's not huge preparations I make, and the ones I do make, I've got very specific reasons for you know, doing the things I do, or making the things I make. So I would say that's probably it for my video. I hope it's enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Lots of love.